The nation's new knife-edge parliament has opened, and even on day one it threw a surprise. After the pomp and ceremony of the opening day was done, the election of a deputy speaker went the government's way. Liberal MP Peter Slipper won the role, but he wasn't Tony Abbott's preferred choice. And his move to take up the job has upset some of his colleagues. From Canberra, Hayden reports.
From the first Australians to the 43rd gathering of parliamentarians, an age-old welcome to the seat of power.
At the heart of our nation's capital, here in the heart of the house of our people, Indigenous Australians can today celebrate their identity.
Please move forward and get a cleansing. It helps.
May this be a parliament that truly works for the interests of all Australians, including the most disadvantaged.
For the first time, they're welcoming one of their own, the first Indigenous member of the House of Representatives. Ken Wyatt wore a kangaroo skin cloak for the momentous day.
The elders put that on my shoulders on Thursday and gave me their blessing.
But that wasn't the only first.
Chifley, Adam Nuruddin Husik.
Never before has Parliament had a Muslim member, but Labor's Ed Husik was sworn in with Quran in hand.
Admit the usher of the Black Rod.
Opening day is a blend of Aboriginal tradition and Westminster custom, and in a crowded Senate chamber, Quentin Bryce was taken by the history of the occasion, a female Prime Minister and a female Governor-General.
This historic conjunction should be an inspiration not only to the women and girls of our nation, but to all Australians. With great faith in the enduring strength of our democratic institutions, I take pride in opening the 43rd Parliament of the Commonwealth of Australia.
And that's when the weaponry was wheeled out, with Harry Jenkins dragged to the chair to continue in his role. The two leaders shattered the mood of amiability.
I say to my colleagues opposite, do not squander this moment, whatever the temptation.
The people of Australia expect a government that keeps its election commitments. It cannot walk away from its election commitments simply because of the closeness of the numbers in this parliament.
This is a time for consensus, not confrontation. Debate, not destruction.
It will be a parliament of robust debate. That is what the people expect. They do not expect a false consensus. They do not expect the pretence of agreement when there is none.
The first test of the fragile majority went the government's way in an early surprise.
Mr Speaker, I nominate the member for Fisher, Peter Slipper, as Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives.
Labor put the Liberal MP forward and he won ahead of the coalition candidate Bruce Scott.
Mr Slipper, 78 votes. Mr Scott, 71 votes.
But there's no deal to pair with the Speaker.
I have not given any commitments with respect to my role as Deputy Speaker.
The numbers suggest one coalition MP broke ranks to back the government's candidate, and it wasn't the independent-thinking National, Tony Crook.
I back Mr Scott.
Labor MPs are grateful for a very minor victory.
I think Peter Slipper's a really good bloke. That right is really, really bright.
And Liberals are biting their tongues.
You know, obviously I'd be lying if we said, there wasn't, a slight disappointment, but that's not the issue.
I have only ever had the kindest of things to say about my colleagues. All of them.
And so Parliament number 43 is now in session. It truly is a day that's unique in the national calendar. But just as the opening show of conciliation barely lasted from morning until night, the rest of the week will only confirm Parliament's adversarial core. Hayden, Late Line.